Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk to the person that has a budget. Now, I'm not against having a budget, but I've noticed by having conversations with my clients that oftentimes when we're trying to implement this strategy, rapid payoff method, the fact that they have a budget already in place, sometimes it constrains them, right? It makes them feel restricted because they're used to having that money that is budgeted for XYZ to only specifically be used for XYZ. And anything out of that creates friction, right? Anything out of that creates like a disimbalancement. Well, oftentimes I found that one of the main reasons why that is because those individuals, or we've been taught to borrow the wrong way. You see, if you borrow correctly, then obviously having a budget would actually be a good thing for you, but also having an improvement to your cash flow, right, at the end of the month after you ran your budget, right, is actually the greatest gift that leveraging a line of credit would actually bring to your specific finances. And that's actually what I want to show you with this particular client. I'm working with a client right now, and he's so used to having a budget. And again, nothing wrong with a budget, but in his specific situation, the focus for him has always been, all right, how do I run my monthly expenses? And how do I make sure that I have enough to meet all the things that I have to pay throughout the course of the month? So we know well his income. We know that the expenses are $5,489. Now, inside of those expenses, or that tally, right, is the payment to his mortgage, right? So he's borrowed right now. He still has a mortgage. He's approaching very soon retirement, but he still has well over 15 years left on this particular mortgage, and he's already in his early 60s. So we need to change that. We need to change the focus from making a small payment or having a small payment on a mortgage loan to actually improving the cash flow and speeding up the process by which we more quickly and efficiently pay off our debt. And that's exactly what we're going to be using this home equity line of credit as our debt tool. That is the first step. Home equity line of credit, there's obviously enough equity that he has in his home. So that's step number one. If you have equity in your home, do not leave it in the brick and mortars. Start the process of getting that equity out for you and put it to work to your advantage. And that's what he's doing. So simple way to do this, right? We're going to continue to maintain his budget, but where the budget is being held is going to be one of the key changes here. So $160,000 is his current balance. We've taken 12 months worth of his cash flow, and we're taking that cash flow, multiplying by 12. We're doing what's called a chunk payment. So a chunk payment will get him to $14,172. Now, what did that do? Immediately, there's a huge impact to the amount of interest that he's going to be paying on his mortgage loan. You can see that right here. The huge impact to the tune of now the balance is $145,828 going into month number one. So he's saved potentially a couple of years off of his mortgage simply by making that move, right? So yes, I do want to pause, and I recognize that there's going to be a cost for him to do this because now he has a mortgage and he also has a line of credit that has a balance of $14,172. But with the rapid payoff method, by switching where he leaves the money that he's budgeted in the month to the new source, which is what we're going to talk about, you're going to see how that is going to take a short amount of time for him to speed up the process of paying the home equity line of credit down. And it's also going to increase the amount of cash flow that he has left every single month that he does that. So 100,000 is the line of credit, 6.63 is the interest rate. Now, what happens here? He already saved going in initially. We know that. We talked about that, $14,172. But what he was doing, right, he used to leave all his funds in his checking account while the month went by. And then as the month went by, he dispersed for the bills of the home. He dispersed for mortgage. He dispersed for taxes and everything else. Now, what he's doing is, and one of the great advantages when you borrow the right way, when you borrow leveraging a line of credit, is you can use that line of credit as a revolving door. That's exactly what a line of credit is. It's a revolving account, which gives you the ability every time that you make payments into it, that same dollar amount that you made as a payment is again disposable to you or available for you to use once again. So instead of leaving the money inside of his checking account, what he's going to be doing is that income throughout the course of the month is going to be counted as payments into the line of credit. So what we're doing is we're calculating what the month started as, 14,172 This $6,670 in income that is being placed includes the expenses, or obviously it includes his paycheck, but the $5,489 includes the expenses for his mortgage with the home equity line of credit. You can just take it right back out. Take it right back out and use it again and send it to the mortgage company throughout the course of the month, just like he would have done, right? But there's going to be a bigger chunk now of money left over at the end of the month to bring down the balance of this home equity line of credit. What you see here is the $77.10 is the calculation of interest cost at 6.63% of the $14,172 throughout the course of the 30 days. Now, keep in mind that as he's making payments throughout the course of the month and income is actually coming in, the amount of interest is actually going to be less. I actually estimated at the highest cost possible, but even though it's $77.10, look at the cost. Would you, and this is my question to you, would you be willing to pay an additional $77.10 if you can save $14,172 of interest cost up here, right? Because now you're borrowing the right way. Now you're actually leveraging that line of credit in your favor. My answer to that is yes. I would hope that your answer to that is yes as well, because those are payments you were going to make anyway, but you just saved years off of your mortgage by doing that one thing, which at the end result of that is you're saving costs as well. Now, what happens there is every month you're going to start with a lower balance on the home equity line of credit. The income is going to be going in, the expenses are going to be coming out, and that's going to lower the interest cost of having that line of credit open. So by the beginning of month number 3, or I should say month number 1, month number 2, the beginning of month number 3, there's a balance of $11,958. Then we can see basically rinse and repeat, right? Here's the strategy, rapid payoff, right? They call it rapid payoff because what's happening is you're starting the month with a lower balance, you're incurring less interest cost, right? And you are also speeding up the process. And here's how it improves. And this is the key to this whole video. Look at how this improves the utility of your cash flow as the month is going by. So in month number 1, we started the month with $14,172. Now what happens here? The difference between month number 1 and month number 2, which is where the balance started, $13,068.10. The difference to that cash flow amount, or the effectiveness of that cash flow, is $1,103.90. That's how much the balance of the home equity line of credit dropped. But as time goes by and you're utilizing your HELOC as if it were a checking account, because you're making deposits of your income into that home equity line of credit, every time you put the deposit of your income is actually counted as a payment. So you're making multiple payments throughout the course of the month. That's actually going to have a positive impact to your balance at the end of the month. And you can see that as the months go by, yes, naturally, your balance is going down. You're not necessarily doing anything different, right? He was budgeting, he was leaving his money in his checking account, but now he's using the home equity line of credit as if it was the home checking account where he can utilize it to even pay his mortgage. So every month that goes by, you can see that there is a drop to the balance of his home equity line of credit, right? So much so, what's happening in the blue is the cash flow. You can see the improvement to the cash flow. So there's a larger number of cash flow. There's an increase to the monthly amount of the cash flow that's going toward the home equity line of credit every single month. Now that is being put to better use than just leaving it in a savings account trying to earn 0.35% or 35% on that savings. This cash flow is actually being put to a more use for him and better use for his economy, and it's actually going to speed up the process of him paying off the loan. Now look at what happens in month number 11. By the time month 11 starts, he's going to have enough, right? If you take his income, which his income is right here, $6,670, he gets paid twice. Well, on a biweekly basis, the income is $3,335, which means that what? All right, let's look at this. If he owes $2,858.20 with one income, right, one payment, he has enough to pay off the final balance of month number N at the beginning of month number N, so much so that he's going to have a balance left over, right? What's left over from that payment? there's a balance left over of $476.80 that he could actually use. And what we're going to be talking about is how do we now reposition that $476.80? Well, we added to another chunk payment of $14,172, or maybe now he's tested the waters here. He's understanding how to leverage line of credit. Maybe we increase that now to $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000. As long as he has the income coming in, which he will, as long as he has cash flow left over, which he will be able to continue to utilize this rapid payoff method strategy to improve his cash flow, number one, and to speed up the process that it's going to take him, or the time it's going to take him to actually get out of debt. And this is how you do it, folks. So I went through a lot, but it's with a purpose and it's with intent, because I want to encourage you that if, again, you are in a budget and you still feel stuck, you need to borrow differently. And borrowing, utilizing home equity line of credit could actually be more advantageous for you. So in the description below, you'll see my contact information. If you need help setting something up like this, let's get on a call. Let's talk about it, how we can actually help you out and make this a reality for you in the upcoming year. So until the next video, take care. God bless. Talk to you soon.